Went to LSU. I have a biology degree. I actually wanted to raise tropical fish is what I wanted to do, and if you can believe that, yeah. So I'm a biologist by trade, and then end up in the car business, and come out of LSU and start looking around and in that industry, and I really couldn't make a living, and I was engaged to my wife at the time, and so I asked my father-in-law, would you mind giving me a chance to come into business, and the rest is history. I guess now we're 24 years down the road. Jaguar came to us and said, look, you know, either you guys go to Baton Rouge or we'll find somebody else that will.
Wow.
And at the time, you know, my brother-in-law was still in college, and father-in-law was like, well, if we got to do this, you got to go make this happen. So
you were just...
I was a baby in the business, I really was. And in hindsight, you know, I thank him every day. He's deceased now, but I can't believe he went out on a limb, and he really fought for me to be able to become the general manager here. It was a big risk for him, and I certainly appreciate the fact that he went out there and did that for me. Back then, you know, you're just trying to survive. Right. We started with 6 of us. Now we have 36. We came in skinny, 6 folks. We were renting the building. We only had Jaguar at the time, and then we added Land Rover down the road. I'm thrilled. Clearly, Land Rover is doing very well on a national level. It is for us here as well. And then now to have Jaguar coming out with their own SUVs, it's nice when somebody doesn't want a Land Rover, we can put them in a Jaguar, and vice versa. And then certainly, let's face it, there's a stigma with people in the car business. No different than there's other industries that people want to shy away from. When I came into it, you know, I wanted to be different. I didn't want anybody to see me as that typical car guy. Every day, since the day I started, I've tried to not let anybody see me in that light, and likewise, I don't want any of my employees acting in the typical car fashion. So that being said, I've typically hired people that were not in the car business before, especially on the sales side, so that we can mold them to act the way we want them to act. Making friends with the folks, understanding their families. We have a lot of repeat business, and I think that's because we take care of customers at the end of the day. And they walk in, we know their names, they know our names, they know where my door is, they'll walk right in. You don't have to have an appointment. I like it. It's mom and pop, I realize that. We've outgrown that environment to some degree, or that mentality. So it's a balancing act of trying to grow the business. We compete on a national level for the Pride. It's called the Pride and Pinnacle of Jaguar and Land Rover. It's only awarded to the top 16 dealers in the United States. It's an all-encompassing award to how clean is your car when it comes out of the service department. Did we fix it right the first time? Did we reach back out to you after we did a repair to your car? Were you satisfied with your experience on the showroom floor? How our phones are operating? They monitor a global business. It's not just how many cars did you sell, Mike. So for me, it's great because it's not an award for me, it's an award for everybody here. For 36 people, they all equally won that award. The story goes, I was the first new salesperson at our Jag dealership in like 18 years. So I didn't necessarily get to catch all the good customers, if you will, because those folks had already been buying from the salespeople that were there. This gentleman pulls up on a Harley Davidson. He's got his dog on the back, and he's got a really long ponytail, and it's a t-shirt, and it says "Satan sucks" on it. And nobody wanted to go wait on him, and they said, "Mike, why don't you go out there?" And I was like, "Gee, thanks guys, really appreciate that." But being young and not wanting to be that typical car guy, and I wanted to treat him like you're supposed to treat a fellow human being. And I went out there and I waited on him, and he asked a bunch of questions, and he left. And I thought it was all over with, and then he came back a few hours later, and he goes, "I want you to know, I've been to a lot of different car dealerships. Nobody would wait on me, and you were the only person that greeted me today." He ended up buying, at the time, which was a crazy car, he bought a supercharged XJR from me, and nobody was buying those, right? It was just out of pure cost. Lo and behold, I've sold him probably, I don't know, 7 cars at this point. He is a extremely religious man, does a lot of mission work, has his own jet that he flies all over the world to go and do mission work. He takes in people that have had drug addictions and gives them jobs fixing motorcycles, and then gets them up and running again, and then gets them back out into society.
Wow.
And he's a prince of a gentleman, and I consider him a dear friend. You have an inherent desire to be with people, or you don't, and I hate to say that, and maybe that's why there's so many different jobs in this world, but I'm a people person, and I need that interaction. It's not fun for me to be glued to a computer. That's the tough part about it. Sometimes I get stuck in these walls in my office, but I'd much rather be out there talking to a customer and hearing what's going on in their lives. Not even talking about the cars. I talk cars all day long.
Right.
So it's fun for me to hear and what's going on with them and their families, and I've seen the kids grow up, and now we're selling the children cars, and then next thing you know, the grandchildren are getting vehicles. So we grow with them as time progresses. But yeah, it is about the one-on-one. It really is. Treat somebody like you would want to be treated, and they're a fellow human being. And if you can just agree to talk about things versus argue and get your sword up really fast, getting ready to fight, take a deep breath, relax, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk it out.
Right.
And I don't think anybody wants to talk anymore. They're too eager to get online, go post a negative review about something, slander, throw it all out there, and instead of just pick up the phone and going, Mike, I really disagree with this. Mayor, I disagree with this. Governor, I disagree with this, and talk it out. And certainly that's where I encourage my children to do the same thing. I sincerely believe if they will come by, if nothing else, if they are out shopping, come stick their head in the door here and just see that there is a different vibe, feel, and experience when you come to Paretti Jaguar Land Rover Baton Rouge.